following podcast contains language that may be inappropriate for younger listeners and covers topics that could be controversial or offensive to some. If you're the former, I'm sorry. If you're the latter, I'm sorry for you. Rated M for mature.
Hello, friend. Welcome. Or welcome back. Either way, no, I appreciate you. I had a completely different episode queued up and ready to go for tonight. And I was walking through my kitchen, going outside to smoke, and the lovely little Amazon device, who has a female name that shall not be named so I don't mess with anything you may have in your house, had a little yellow light flashing on it. For anybody who has those devices, you know the yellow light means there's a notification. So I said her name and said, "Hey, what's my notification?" To which she responded, "From CNN breaking news, Michelle Obama's mother passes away, 7:28 p.m. Eastern." Now, anytime somebody passes away, it's very sad. And I'm sure this is a very difficult time for the Obamas, their family, Michelle Obama's mother's friends. But her passing away is not fucking news. Michelle Obama passing away is news. Barack Obama passing away is news. Michelle Obama's mother passing, not fucking news. When did this happen? I can't get my head around the fact that we have moved to a place in society that the mother of the former First Lady passing makes CNN breaking news. Why? And it's not meant to be disrespectful by any means, but my father passed away a little over 2 years ago. You know what it wasn't? Breaking fucking news. It was very important to our family. Not important to the nation. Not important to the world. It just, I'm really trying to walk the fine line because I don't want to be disrespectful on the fact that somebody passed. Because, again, it's tragic, it's sad, and I'm sure it's very difficult. Again, it's not fucking news. I just can't. So what we're going to do, we're going to talk about dumb things that happen in the news and how dumb we are just generally as people. And I have a couple articles that I want to react to outside of just this one, but that notification kind of sparked this. And in fairness, this is being recorded right before it'll go live on any whatever service that you're listening to this on. Not going to run an ad spot. It's not going to have heavy editing. Not that you would have noticed heavy editing in any of the previous ones because we're still trying to figure that out. But we're just going to go with this. And yes, the intro is there. It'll have the outro. But we're not going to cut and do a whole lot. So there may be some dead spots, some blanks along the way where I process and formulate what I want to say or how I want to say it or temper my reaction to some of the stuff that I'm talking about. But again, the fact that Michelle Obama's mother dying justifies a notification on an AI home assistant device to notify however many people have that service in their home is mind-boggling to me. We didn't know her. She was not a prominent figure during the 8 years that Obama was in office. Again, terribly sad for Michelle and her family. My condolences, my thoughts, my prayers. With them, I do ultimately feel very, very sorry, and I understand the pain of losing a parent, both my father and my mother-in-law, within the last couple of years. Just not newsworthy. not headline news anyway. Not I'm going to flash a notification and say from CNN breaking news 7:28 p.m. Eastern. Uh, it's not, 2 days before the breaking news notification was jury finds Trump guilty. That's news. That's worth putting out there, whether you believe he's guilty or you don't believe he's guilty. Him being found guilty was news and justified the notification of breaking news. What have we become that we need to know these kind of things, and that the mother of the former first lady is a celebrity? She was not a public figure. She wasn't in the public eye. How is that news? How does that justify or have a justification for having, again, a notification? And I don't know if it made it to Google services or any of the other services. I have not seen it come across my Apple News feed yet, but again, it was on Amazon's devices and it fed through CNN, and the story is there. And there's an 11-minute segment on YouTube that you can find about it. We are dedicating news resources, airways, broadcast time, and now I'm doing it on a podcast to talk about it. It just doesn't make sense to me. And there's a lot of things that don't make sense to me. So we're going to do this, and this is a bit of a rant and a tirade, and you may tune out, you may get worked up, you may think I'm stupid or overreacting, whatever. It's, again, the point of this podcast is to just talk about whatever I feel like talking about, and tonight I feel like talking about this, so here we go. So on May 23rd, American Airlines legal team decided to blame a 9-year-old girl for using a restroom on the plane that had a recording device allegedly placed there by a former employee. So if you're unaware, there is an ongoing lawsuit where allegedly a flight attendant placed a camera inside a lavatory on a plane and has footage of multiple underage people using the bathroom. This is in regards to a civil suit in which American Airlines is named, not just the attendant. And it has to do with American Airlines not disclosing certain information. So this is in regards to the civil suit with American Airlines, not the former flight attendant who was SS Carter Thompson. And that is a completely separate charge, but this is related to that. So the legal team for American Airlines in the civil suit claimed the 9-year-old was at fault and negligent because she used a lavatory that, quote, she knew or should have known contained a visible and illuminated recording device. What? How? How? These are attorneys. These are smart people. They go to school for a long time. They study law. They do regular college. Then they do extra college stuff to learn how to lawyer. And you have a team that says a 9-year-old girl. It's her fault that she got recorded in a bathroom because she should have known that there was an illuminated recording device. I do not understand how that happens. Now, to American Airlines' credit, if you can give them any in this case, they did respond immediately the day after this filing. They have since, as of yesterday, fired the attorney that was involved in that filing. But the fact remains, they engaged with an attorney. Now, American Airlines says it was outside counsel brought on by the insurance company. It's still an attorney that either American Airlines, big company, or the insurance company that American Airlines deals with, one of them, which theoretically should be another big company, made the decision to hire a legal team that thought it was a good idea to file a defense that says, not our fault. The 9-year-old should have known. Her fault that she got recorded while she went to the bathroom. What the fuck? How do you even get to keep your, I guess, it's your license, right? I'm partnered with an attorney in a nonprofit. I should know that it's a license. But I mean, legitimately, somebody should bring something up that says this guy should, or girl, whatever it was, should not be practicing law anymore based solely on the fact that they're a fucking idiot. Where do you get off blaming a 9-year-old girl that she should have known better? Hey, make sure you check the toilet to see if you see a camera before you go to the bathroom on this plane. I'm a grown ass man that stands and looks at the toilet to use the bathroom, and you know what I'm not looking for? A fucking camera. I I don't get it. I don't understand how you have somebody who theoretically is supposed to be an intelligent, productive member of society in an attorney that can make an argument that blames a 9-year-old. Again, I need to make sure that you understand American Airlines distanced themselves from the legal team's filing the day after, and has since ensured, at least as of yesterday, that that team is not a part of their defense going forward. But the reality is, you were engaged with a legal team that actually filed this on your behalf. It is part of the court record. It was your defense, at least part of your defense. Her fault, not yours. I I just can't fathom how grown people sat in a room and went, how do we protect this multi-billion-dollar company? I know. Excuse me, sir. I have an idea. Blame the kid. That'll work. Welcome to America, people. We are the most litigious society in the world. And even if you're I'm going to guess, high-powered, high-dollar corporate attorney, you're just as much an ambulance chaser as the guys that are advertising on TV trying to get me to sue the hell out of whoever rear-ended me yesterday. We have problems. We have problems in what makes the news. We have problems in the courtrooms and the way that people are trying to defend things. We just have massive issues all the way around. Let's move from the American Airlines and let's back up to Trump found guilty. There was an article. So if you go to, you can look at it, find it on Bing. Trump supporters clash with British couple outside hush money trial. You have a British couple who's here on air quotes holiday. They're vacationing here. They decide, according to her, to go to the park where MAGA supporters are gathered for entertainment purposes. She wanted to see them for herself because she couldn't believe that they were real. And then it turns into a bunch of people yelling and screaming expletives, hurling insults at this couple, threatening them. We degrade to name calling and hate, threats of physical violence, and we have people from other countries coming to watch us stand in a park while we await the verdict in a trial against our former president, who also happens to be a candidate for president this go round. And this lady truly came to see what they were doing. Were they real? I can't get my head around a whole lot of things right now. I really want, I'm trying to find the quote. Give me just 1 second. We're going to get there. So The article says the British woman was seen smiling and almost chuckling as the crowd surrounded her in the park, shouting profanities. Disgusting, aren't they? What disgusting people, she said, sounding somewhat lighthearted. Her partner, seemingly less amused, was ushering her away from the group. We were actually here purely for entertainment value, the woman told the media as she walked away from the rowdy demonstrators. We're from England. Uh, she added, as her partner said, we've got to keep going. Really, that's what we become. It's a sideshow circus that it's no like we're going to go to America. What sights are you going to see while you're there? We're going to go look at MAGA supporters. Is this a fucking zoo? We're going to look at people, whether you agree with their political stances or not. They are still people. We're going to go look at them gathered outside of a courthouse waiting to find out if the guy that they support is going to get found guilty. Because, haha, that's funny. We're becoming a laughing stock as a nation. Hear me. You are witnessing the beginning of the end of this nation as a world power when things like just these three examples are taking place. Add that on top of, for lack of a better term, protests on college campuses, which are fine. People are allowed to protest. You can support whatever you want to support, and we allow for the right, freedom of expression, freedom of speech. But there's young people taking over college campuses under the guise of pro Palestine, but in support of terrorist organizations that are being manipulated by professional pot stirrers, people that come in, know how to rile up an impressionable group and get them to do what they want. We jump on a sentiment, and I guess in fairness, no, not we, a subset of us. So you have a very vocal Gen Z that wants to instill change, and they I respect the fact that they have a desire and a motivation to change the world around them. I do, however, feel they lack the intelligence to pick and choose the issues wisely that they're going to try to impact. I think they're easily swayed, and then their passion takes over, and we end up with a bunch of garbage like we saw on Ivy League school campuses, state school campuses, their buildings being taken over, violence is occurring, fights are breaking out, uh, and we're trading one type of hate for another. If you look back over history, every great civilization has fallen. Uh, don't take my word for it. Look back. Ancient Egypt, Rome, the Aztecs. Go back modern history. At one point, England was the most powerful nation in the world. Our days are, and I'm not saying it's tomorrow or 2 weeks from now or 2 years from now or 10 years from now, but mark it down. Post pandemic, this is the beginning of the end. And not saying we're going to fall into disarray. Not, we're not on our way to some, fingers crossed, apocalyptic future for this country. But I think the days of us as a world leader and the country or nation that sets the tone and is looked to as an example are soon to be behind us. Where we go from here, I honestly don't know. What the questions have arose now. What happens? Trump has been convicted, and I think by all accounts, poll numbers say if the election held today, he wins. Like, yay, make us proud. Convict in the White House. Um, I don't know. And again, this one's just a rant. This is just a let me be a crotchety old man and bitch and complain about some things, but the reality of it is, I believe the bitching and complaining is valid. We're headed in the wrong direction. I think we've overcorrected because I don't want anybody to believe that I think we were headed in the right direction to begin with. I think there was a whole lot of good intention to that helped build this country and make it the world leader that it was. And I think at one point in time, it was the shining light. And arguably, I don't know that there is anywhere right now that I would say is better. And I'm sure there are a bunch of you yelling at the radio now and you're screaming whatever nation, wherever that you believe is better than here. Cat Williams said it during his sit down with Shannon Sharp that, he's traveled all over the world, and for as fucked up as this place is, you still can't wait to get home to it. It's still the best nation in the world. I don't know how much longer we're going to be able to say that. Yeah, I don't think we're destined to be a third world nation, but we're not going to be the top of the food chain for much longer. And that's assuming we are the top of the food chain still. So I don't know. Wait, what are your thoughts on where we are as a nation? You know, and I guess in fairness, let me point out, right, that it's not just Gen Z and their passion, sometimes wrongly placed, that is going to do us in. Look around and look at the political divide in the country, and the fact that you have MAGA supporters out that find I'm gonna yell shit at this tourist couple because they walked into our territory, and we are just so adamantly behind what is clearly a fucking idiot in Donald Trump. And that's not an endorsement of Biden, because if you listen to previous episode, not a huge fan of him either. You know, eh, he is systemic demonstration of a problem. Trump is not the solution to that problem, right? It's but polarized, and it's very much Trump polarizes both sides, right? There are people that gravitate to him, and then there are people that just want so bad for it not to be him, and we're not paying attention to what the real issues are, and God only knows what we're going to end up with come November. I, so I think as that we're going to end it there, and again, this is really no point of this other than me coming on here and running off at the lip and voicing some frustration over what I think is just the current dumbness that is this place. Again, I thank you for coming by. I think if you keep coming back and giving this thing a go, I may release what I wanted originally to go in this episode spot, maybe midweek, as bonus content to make up for what I think is potentially a bit of a lackluster episode as far as overarching theme. Um, Maybe there's some energy here. Maybe some people will find this one a little more enjoyable because of either the passion or the fact that you feel you've identified, I agree with you on something, or you agree with me on something. I don't know. Again, this is my podcast, what I want to talk about, when I want to talk about it, and today I just wanted to bitch about shit. So thanks for giving me the chance to bitch. And remember, until next time, affect change. Don't let change affect you. I'm out.